Welcome back to the channel, NFL fans. Today is Saturday, August 16, 2025, and it's a big day for preseason action. We've got the Cleveland Browns facing off against the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles and the Miami Dolphins taking on the Detroit Lions. If you're looking for the smartest betting picks and sharpest analysis, you're in the right place.
That's right. Preseason might not have the star power for every snap, but the angles for betting and seeing fresh talent are huge. We're breaking down all the top trends and predictions so you can make the best moves with your picks today. Ready?
Absolutely. Let's jump in and see where we can cash in since these preseason games can get wild with all the roster moves. But first, maybe a quick debate. Did you actually see Tanner McKee outdrill Joe Burrow last week? Eagles fans must be pumped.
Let's start with Browns versus Eagles. Philadelphia comes in strong after a dominant win over the Bengals, even with backups on offense. Tanner McKee was electric, 252 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Browns blew out Carolina, but they're missing rookie QB Shedeur Sanders. We'll see mostly Dylan Gabriel and Tyler Huntley, and that puts the edge on Philly for depth, especially given roster cuts looming.
Here's what the odds look like for the Browns versus Eagles preseason matchup. Philadelphia is favored by 4 points, with the total points over-under set at 37.5. This line reflects the expectation that the Eagles, even with some key starters resting, will still be able to produce enough offense to outpace the Browns and that the game will be moderately high-scoring given the styles and recent performances on both sides. The sharp play here is to take the over 37.5 points. Both teams scored well in their opening preseason games. The Eagles put up a high-scoring performance against the Bengals, largely thanks to Tanner McKee, who threw for 252 yards and 2 touchdowns, while the Browns tallied 30 points against the Panthers despite missing rookie QB Shedeur Sanders due to injury. More importantly, the Eagles possess deeper offensive weapons, and although their defense will feature many rookies and backups battling for roster spots, they should still allow some scoring opportunities. This combination of offensive firepower and defensive inexperience should push the total score above the bookmakers line. For the spread, the Browns plus the points, +4, is a smart option for those looking for value. The Browns' backups showed toughness and ability to keep games close during recent preseason contests. While the Eagles are favored, the Browns are expected to compete fiercely, making it reasonable to believe they could cover the spread or keep the game within 4 points. However, don't rely on an outright Browns win here, as the Eagles have more consistent depth and performed strongly last week. Taking the spread lets you benefit if the Browns stay competitive without having to pick an outright upset. So to summarize, the best bets are the over 37.5 points for total scoring and Browns +4 on the spread, leveraging the scoring ability on both sides, and the Browns' resilience in close preseason matchups.
Now we're heading to Detroit for Dolphins versus Lions. The Lions dominated joint practices. Miami's backups really struggled defensively. The Dolphins had a shaky tie against the Bears, rotating Zach Wilson, Quinn Ewers, and Tua Tagovailoa under center. But today, we'll see mostly backups again.
Odds makers favor Miami slightly in this preseason matchup at Ford Field, with Miami often getting the edge due to roster talent and reputation. However, the sharp money and consensus expert bettors are leaning towards the Lions +3.5, and depending on your sportsbook, you might even find them at +2.5 points. Detroit has looked notably improved in recent outings, particularly with backup quarterback Kyle Allen, who had a strong showing last week going 7 of 8 for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns. This was an efficient and commanding performance that showcased rhythm and accuracy, setting the Lions up well to keep the game competitive or even pull ahead. Meanwhile, Miami's backups, including Zach Wilson and Quinn Ewers, have struggled to find consistent offense, combining for just 10 completions on 27 attempts and suffering several sacks and turnovers. Add in Miami's injury woes, running back Alexander Mattison out for the season, key players on IR, and a shaky offensive line, and Detroit's defensive dominance in joint practices becomes even more significant. Detroit's defense has consistently shut down Miami's offense in practice, including a perfect red zone performance over 9 consecutive snaps and multiple drive-ending takeaways. This execution under Coach Dan Campbell signals a strong unit poised to stifle Miami's backup offense on game day. All these factors contribute to why the Lions, as a home dog with strong defensive showings and sharper backup QB play, are a very attractive bet with the points. This is a classic preseason betting scenario where practice performance, depth, and healthy backups matter more than star power. On the total points line, currently set around 37.5, the recommendation is to play the over 37.5. Miami's defense looks vulnerable, and with multiple quarterbacks willing to throw it around on both sides, the game should see plenty of offensive action. The mix of shaky Miami backfield versus Detroit's offense capable of putting points on the boards supports a higher scoring game than many expect in the preseason. In summary, take the Lions plus 3.5 or plus 2.5 points depending on your sportsbook for value and coverage. Also, go over 37.5 points for total scoring to capture the likely offensive shootout fueled by backup quarterbacks and defensive lapses.
All right, let's recap your best moves for today's NFL preseason action. For the Browns vs. Eagles game, the smart bet is to go with the over 37.5 points. Both teams showcase solid offensive performances in their last outings, and despite the Browns missing their rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders, the Eagles' deep offensive roster should help push the scoring higher. The Eagles demonstrated strong passing efficiency through Tanner McKee, while the Browns' backups have also shown they can put points on the board. Given that many backups will be on the field and defenses aren't fully settled yet, we expect this game to have a good amount of scoring and exciting plays. If you prefer a spread bet in this matchup, consider taking the Browns plus 4. This underdog spread is attractive because the Browns' backup units have remained competitive in recent preseason games, showing resilience and solid defense against similarly stocked teams. While the Eagles are favorites to win outright, the Browns have the capability to keep the game tight and cover the spread, making this an excellent hedge in case the favorites fall short of expectations. For the Dolphins vs. Lions contest, the recommended bet is to take the Lions plus 3.5 points at home. Odds makers favor Miami very slightly due to their roster strength, but the Lions have looked impressive in practice and preseason appearances, particularly with backup quarterback Kyle Allen's sharp performances and the defense's ability to contain Miami's backups. Detroit's strong defensive showings in joint practice sessions and effective offensive execution make them a solid bet to remain close or even win outright. The home field advantage further supports this play. Additionally, for this game, playing the over 37.5 points total is advisable. Both teams are fielding multiple backup quarterbacks who are eager to prove themselves, and Miami's defense has shown vulnerabilities that Detroit's offense can exploit. This combination is likely to produce a shootout atmosphere, which is rare and valuable in preseason betting when games tend to be more defensively oriented and low scoring. So, in summary, bet over 37.5 points in Browns vs. Eagles for a high-scoring, entertaining game. Grab the Browns plus 4-point spread if you like playing the underdog with strong potential to cover. For Dolphins vs. Lions, take Lions plus 3.5 points at home for a valuable dog bet. And again, lean toward the over 37.5 points for a game likely filled with offensive plays and scoring opportunities. These picks balance value, recent performance trends, and the unique dynamics of preseason games to give you the best chance to win your bets today.
Before we head out, any last words of advice for bettors watching today?
Don't get carried away by preseason hype. Look for those depth chart battles and watch how backup QBs respond under pressure.
And don't forget, NFL preseason is for finding hidden value. Today's games are packed with it.
Enjoy the games, everyone! Drop your predictions and picks in the comments. We want to see who's got the best preseason instincts. See you next time.